Hi everyone and welcome back in a new episode of NABA Meets Alumni. Today we are here with Yasemin Yılmaz. She graduated in design in the 2015 and today we are here to discover her story and her journey in our academy. Hi Yasemin, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Why did you choose NABA?
When I started my Italian high school in Istanbul, first thing that I wanted to go to Italy and study design. And design because it was actually a natural selection for me because there was my father working in he was actually bringing like all the, let's say, Italian and the fashion brands like home accessories part. So for me, like materials, colors, textures, everything was in my natural journey. So that's why I actually selected, NABA is to study design.
And after NABA, what happened in your life and in your journey in
After NABA, basically, I didn't want to go back to Turkey. This is what happened. Because I actually loved so much like the energy of Milan, the school gave me so much enthusiasm. NABA gave me so many emotions, so that's why I wanted to continue my studies. So basically I did my master's after in Politecnico. I studied exhibition design. And after that, basically, I started working, immediately, let's say. My real journey started in Molteni and Dada. From there, I actually went to, I changed my job because I had this opportunity to go to bredaquaranta. It was actually, it is still one of the most important multi-brand showrooms in Milan. And then after that, I started working in Roche Bobois.
Okay.
And after Roche Bobois, I started working in Fendi. My journey was, let's say, so fluent because I met like really right people in Milan.
Okay.
And I had this opportunity because once I say I changed the jobs, it wasn't because like something happened bad, let's say in workplaces, but it was because I had different opportunities to discover.
So now you are working in Fendi.
Yeah.
And so can you explain something about your experience in a big company?
Here, let's say, first when I arrived to Fendi, I actually started as like a design consultant. And now I'm actually the client supervisor there. So for me, actually, the experience was great, I would say, because now I'm actually managing all the VIP clients and all the residential projects worldwide. So I'm basically based in showroom now, managing the clients, the VIP projects. I have opportunity to travel and see, as real houses, and what I do in the, let's say, in showroom, in store, that I actually see with my eyes that it realized. So it's a really big satisfaction for me.
Is there a lesson you bring from NABA and put into your work in your daily life?
For sure, yes. Let's say more than one, I think. Because like the first part is like the design part. Because whatever I do, I start also designing, let's say, the interiors. So of course, like matching the fabrics and the products and everything. So this is what I learned from NABA. A lot of things that I get from NABA, and I would say the professors and everyone, they were always like from the sector, so it wasn't like on, let's say, paper, but everything was so practical. So when I was working in bredaquaranta,
okay.
we were actually, it was a new startup project for me that I wanted to realize in this company. And when we were talking about this project, I called one of my ex-professors from NABA, and actually when I was working there, I called him and we started working together with him. For me, it was so emotional also that moment. I said, okay, I'm arriving somewhere. This is nice to like also collaborate with an ex-professor and now bringing like a new project in a new company together, so.
Yasemin, now we have a special moment in our interview.
Wow.
The question from NABA students.
So how was it to find a job being a foreigner as soon as you graduated?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because like when you get graduated from like the school, it's like the first question that you make to yourself. Now what am I gonna do? I answered to myself, I said, okay, I wanna stay here. So I went to a shop to basically print out my CV. And basically, when the guy in shop saw me that I was printing out my CV, he said, okay, it's on me. And it was a really strange moment for me, so I said, okay, I'm doing the right thing. And I actually went all the stores and leaving my CV around, telling that I was searching for a job. It's not been easy. I think you have to believe in yourself, have the courage to do it, because sometimes like you get lost in small things and you don't have like the courage to do that. But I think you have to have the courage to search for a job and believe to yourself, and this is how starts everything.
How did studying in NABA change or influence the perception you have of yourself?
I think NABA encourages like all the students to find their selves and their ways, because you have different courses where you can actually discover the practical parts, like the more technological part, or like the more, let's say, human part. So I think it influenced me in a good way, because I actually discovered really well myself. And in that moment I said, okay, maybe I should work with the public, or I should be more like myself in the relationship part together with design.
Yasemin, now we can go back to our interview. What is your most important project?
My thesis, because my thesis was like the, let's say, because it was the longest project that I actually followed. It was like micro living spaces that I created, and that was actually for me like one of the most important projects.
What does NABA mean to you?
NABA is actually the beginning of everything. NABA gave me the key, basically, to enter in a huge building.
Okay.
So this huge building is my life, my career, my personal life, everything. NABA gave me the key to approach now all my goals.
What is MYST?
MYST is basically now my new project that brings together Milano and Istanbul. And what happens in MYST is that I actually offer the relocation services to the students, so which actually tells all my story that I also began with NABA. So whatever I've done here, like in these years, also like the paperwork part and everything, including my interior design approach and the project. So MYST is basically a project that brings together the relocation and interior design services together.
Yasemin, thank you for your time.
Thank you, it's a pleasure.
And thank you for being with us, and see you soon in the next episode of NABA Meets Alumni. Vi ringrazio di averci seguito fino a questo punto e ricordatevi di ascoltarci anche su Spotify e mettere 5 stelline se il contenuto vi è piaciuto.